Chief Inspector, today the Home Secretary laid your inspection on asylum support in Parliament. Can you briefly tell me what you looked at?
Well, the administration of asylum support is a significant challenge for the Home Office in terms of management of public funds and ensuring that people are treated fairly and in accordance with their rights. So this inspection examined the Home Office's efficiency and effectiveness in delivering its asylum support functions. People claim asylum in the UK and they can apply to the Home Office for support to help with their essential living needs. And that support can consist of financial assistance or accommodation or both. And last year the asylum support budget amounted to £155 million.
So what were your main findings?
Well, I was pleased to find that decision making was generally good in the majority of cases I examined. I examined a large cohort of cases selected at random from across the UK. I found that staff demonstrated fairness in assessing destitution claims, and I found very little evidence of a disbelieving attitude towards applicants. Caseworkers also demonstrated a strong commitment to protecting vulnerable individuals, particularly at the newly refurbished Asylum Screening Unit. I didn't find any evidence that the Home Office had an effective strategy to identify and tackle fraud, however, and work has not been undertaken to determine what its exposure to fraud risk is. No attempt had been made to ensure fraud and compliance teams were operating in a consistent manner, and in my view there were insufficient resources dedicated to this work. So the Home Office was missing opportunities to identify and deter those wishing to commit fraud in the asylum support system. The absence of a debt recovery strategy meant that overpayment recovery was not being pursued effectively, and these factors provided compelling evidence that the Home Office was failing to take adequate action to safeguard public funds. In addition, poorly managed organisational change had led to a sharp decline in asylum case staff, with a consequent increase in the number of recipients of asylum support. The number of cases receiving asylum support under Section 4 had risen by 55% between April 2012 and December 2013. Decisions to grant or refuse asylum support were not meeting target times in a significant number of cases that I examined. Although the Home Office had commenced a large-scale recruitment campaign to address this issue, it does need to prioritise its outstanding casework to ensure that public money is being spent effectively.
Those are significant findings. So what recommendations did you make for improvement?
I made 11 recommendations in total, which include that the Home Office should take urgent steps to resolve the backlog of outstanding further submissions, particularly where an asylum support claim is in payment. It should identify its exposure to fraud and develop a credible strategy to address fraud. It should provide sufficient resources across the UK to manage and implement effective counter-fraud measures and to deter abuse of the asylum support system. It should implement an effective debt recovery strategy so that public funds are recovered in all cases where there's no entitlement to asylum support benefit, regardless of whether applicants are granted leave or not. And finally, the Home Office needs to work effectively with other government departments to ensure that asylum support fraud is tackled effectively.